today's very welcome to joining today's session. The IFLA Local History and General Section webinars providing a new insight in the field of genealogy and local history in Asia. This is before 1 year ago, the Asian areas nearly same of the webinar has been held. After 1 year, we have held this one. The more expanding the content and different contents, including here. Maybe the very interesting content will be delivered from each of the speakers. Would you please expecting that? Before starting, just before to the starting of the session, I'll mention to the several attention during the webinars. This webinars, recording and photographing, screenshotting, or downloading of this webinar, as well as any unauthorized use of the materials, is strictly prohibited. If you have any questions for the speakers, please Q&A button at the bottom of the webinar delivery screen and fill in your questions. Questions can also be submitted during the presentation. And all of the speakers' presentation after finished, we have the Q&A session. Please mute your microphone during the seminars. This webinar will be recorded and made available on the YouTube site of the IFLA Local History and Genealogy sections YouTube site. Thank you for joining. Okay. Thank you for joining to today's webinars. We are starting to now to the time to come to. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining us today's IFLA Local History and General Section webinars. I am Takashi Nagatsuka, today's moderators. Our section chair of the Cherry Bush, sending it to me she is now a little sick. She has been sent her regard to all audiences. Thank you. Today you have seen to all of the speakers. The first speakers today's topic is providing new insight in the field of the genealogy in Asia. The first speakers is the Yali Wang, from Chenzhi Qingtime Science and Technology companies, on the topic of the past, present, and future of Chinese genealogies. Yali Wang, please share of your screen PowerPoint. She is the Secretary General of the Genealogy Special Committee of the China Heritage Conservation Foundation and the co-founder of the Jingzhu Time Information Technology companies. In 9 years of practice, the company has been exploring how to use modern technology to empower traditional culture, activate genealogy and link families. Please to start your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you see my screen now? A moment. Let me check my screen. So Can you see my screen now?
Yes, you can. Yes, slide is it's good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, please.
Okay. It's my great honor to discuss the field of Chinese genealogy with the expert and a scholar from all over the world. First of all, I'm very grateful to the organizer IFLA for the invitation and the Shanghai Library for the recommendation. Just as I said, I'm Yali Wang. It's a co-founder from the Jiangsu Qingtime technology company and also a general secretary of the Genealogy Special Committee of the China Heritage Conservation Foundation. Actually, I just come back from US yesterday afternoon to attend the LHG in Utah, which is a conference that brings together institutions from around the world in the field of the genealogy, family history, genes, and so on. So Qingtime is the first Chinese institute to join this exhibition since 2017. So to showcase Chinese genealogy to the world and devote itself to empowering traditional culture with modern technology activity, the genealogy and the linking families and the experienced people. So my topic today is the past, present, and the future of Chinese genealogy. The first part is the past. China has a long history of 5,000 years. The family name is one of the symbols of Chinese culture. So the technology in terms of technology, genealogy have flourished with the development of published technologies. So for the style, in terms of styles, the paternal characters, which has been stable for nearly 1,000 years since information of all styles in the early Song dynasty. So I would like to show the following forms and the characters of genealogy from different dynasties. Here is the aerial when keeping records by time rows. It's the Song dynasty, it's the oracle genealogies. This is the first bronze documenting the family history. It's the Western Zhou dynasty. In the Wei Jin dynasty, people avoid the genealogy and the families connected genealogy books, and especially girls set up genealogy officials. And in the Song dynasty, the gathering 1,000 people to in one family and unify hundreds of generations in one person is actually in Song dynasty. The genealogy bloomed. So in short, with the change of dynasty, genealogy has become a unique cultural symbol of China. So come to my second part, the China genealogy status. Actually, for reasons well known, genealogy went through a disaster in the 1950s and still a savage type of genealogies. So demand of the society is recovering and booming. For with the popularization of a computer, the typesetting method has changed from handwriting to the automatically typesetting and more convenient to adjust it. In terms of styles, from the traditional Shu style and old styles, slightly upgrade form, but maintaining a single surname with paternal characteristics is still stable. Privacy is from the internal family secretary to relative open to be a kind of archive to keep in the libraries, archive, some local history libraries. With the recovery of the traditional cultures, most of Chinese people do not have a genealogy book. In our database, there's only 20% of people can connect to the genealogy. Some of just the 2% of them have genealogy book in hand. So the national genealogy distribution trend is many more in the east and south. This is rather the same population distribution as China. Major and there are more need of genealogy renewal in developed areas, such as Guangdong, Zhejiang, Jiangsu, Fujian. Meanwhile, major libraries and archives are also important connection institutions of genealogy resources. So our technology, Qingtime technology is honored to cooperate with various genealogies connection institute to promote sharing the genealogy resource and enhance the service level. We cooperating with the Shanghai Library to develop China genealogy knowledge service platform and the Chinese migration map. We cooperated with the National Library to develop China genealogy search platform. We cooperating with Family Search to develop Family Discovery Center. Cooperating with local library to do the genealogy platform in Chenzhi City. And also we cooperated with the clans, different clans. This is a Jiangsu province new clan news platform. There are more than 5,000 surnames in China. And the genealogy renewal demand is booming. So the technology has made the genealogy publishing more convenient, such as the cloud genealogy, and the same is the cloud genealogy is more easier to help people set up their genealogy to upload their old genealogy and to renew a single branch genealogy. This is a South genealogy publishing platform. It's easier to publish and upload all the books. Especially we inspired the OCR and the NPL in the systems, so that it can help people to indexing and to connecting to this to help people to lose seeking. Okay. But at the same time, the different style of the genealogy is also provided in the cloud genealogies. And the genealogical directives is also such as books, the tables, pictures, and drawings make the genealogy more attractive. In short, people are paying more and more attention to genealogy renewal. The third part the future development of the genealogy. I think this part is more important because from the physical point of view, the traditional genealogy needs to be inherited. But the rapid advancement of the women status for both parents, the dual lineage are very important. So I think that the westernized dual lineage genealogy software is very worthy of learning from contemporary China. And in terms of the quantity, technology has increased the number of genealogies content. So on the one hand, it's possible for human to unify the big genealogy, and the number of the people is greater. On the other hand, everyone with the popularity of smartphones record film has become readily available. The content is increasingly massive. In terms of the technology side, the media heterogeneity from diversification, content multiple dimensioning, and the style personalization become the main feature. So the digital museum will become the standard configuration for future human beings. For in terms of the privacy in the area of mobile internet, privacy needs more respect and protection. From this picture, we can see the diversified digital community aggregated from surname trees, pedigree trees, genealogy backbone tree, and family tree, gene tree, humanity knowledge map. All will be linked in diversified form. So for the massive genealogy, there's no publishing standard. We divided in Chinese genealogy, big data, stratification, development. We divided it in 4 parts. The first one is the focus. Actually is the traditional civilization surnames, and the Chinese origin data we already make the in Chinese roots name. So the Asian data is used to build a genealogy backbone network. The modern data is mainly to help people to trace the root, to help people to find the root. So in the modern data, we need to do the indexing. Under the contemporary data, we need to keep the respect provide privacy of the name included in genealogy of the process of the introduction. For the massive genealogies, there is no publishing standard, and it's difficult to check and trace. We are exploring establishment of ISGN, just like ISBN is only for genealogy to facilitate the sharing of resource among various connection institutions. At the same time, we actively support the Chinese language upgrade of JetComX, an international genealogy data exchange, and have developed JetComX.cn technical website. I remember the former director of National Palace Museum, San Jixiang, once said, if we can't tell history in language of young people, we will lose young people, and the young people in turn will lose history. In China, the elderly value genealogies and return to their roots. So we have been exploring a way to make family history a concern for everyone, including young people, and are willing to continue to do so. So we explore a way to encourage, so establish a genealogy index database. And for example, this is the loose-seeking platform. When you click a name, you can find all the data, all the related data, and also in the knowledge graph map. We explore a way to encourage and energize each family to cultivate in genealogies, diversify. Oh, I have another slideshow. So the most important things, I think, we need to motivate each person to build family tree in a very easy way. This is our mobile application products to connection from family and clans. Family interactive for the all those motivate each person to build family trees, record the stories, upload the family stories, draw and the graphic videos, audience, all can be turned into the book with one click. It's very important for modern for the future. I mean, the traditional genealogy book is present from our ancestors. What we can descend for our descendants. So I think the handbooks is an easier way to do a connection with genealogy and family stories. So we need to encourage people to set up their family trees and to become the 10 memories of each family. So diversifies form of genealogy. We also want to encourage people to build a family museum. It's in different types, different styles, and here is another videos. So to searching what the surname is, and to let what I impressive is when I was in LHG, many people come here with his children. So I think to unite, to inspire the people to focus family history, I think the child will be more empowered, more united. And those diversified, rich and diversified form of genealogy will be better activate. The genealogy and let each person family story continue from generation to generation and live on. Those are my museum with my little child, with my parents. This is a Clan's museum. We need to encourage people come here and they interested. They want to have a tree.
Sorry,
They want to join the tree.
sorry,
Yes.
time is over. Please,
Oh,
please
okay.
finish
My presentation,
your
my
speech.
presentation is
Yeah,
oh,
so-
in 1 minute. In 1 minute. Yeah, this is all virtual. What you see is the genealogy tree, and you can also make some video book in the universal. Okay. What we have done is let the love and story lasting forever. And genealogy become the golden thread and the string together culture and family history appears. Thanks. What do we do is from history to my story. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Very interesting presentation. Thank you so much. I will introduce next speakers. Next speaker is Chenzhi and Qianqian Liu, from Shanghai Library, on the topics of the collection, arrangement, and development of the genealogy in Shanghai Library. Please, Chenzhi and Qianqian Liu to prepare to share with your slides. Qianqian Liu is a librarian of the Shanghai Library. She has been involved in the construction of the Shanghai Library's digital humanities platform for many years. Mainly responsible for the project management and data collection of the Chinese genealogy knowledge service platform. Chenzhi librarian of the Shanghai Libraries, she has been engaged in the research of the digital humanities for years. They are mainly focusing on the application and visualization of the digital content resources. Please starting your presentation. Please. Qianqian Liu, please start your presentation.
Sorry, can you hear?
Yeah, please start.
Okay,
Right, can you listen to my voice? Okay.
can you hear me? Okay. I'm grateful for the opportunity to introduce the genealogy collection and services of the Shanghai Library with my colleague Chenzhi. I will introduce the genealogical resources, describe the techniques and the methods we use. Then my colleague will introduce the service platform and the visualization. Chinese people always have a strong road in complex, retrace and rework their ancestors. In our services, we found that it's not just the researchers who look up genealogy. Everyone search for family history. Genealogy is a career of family history. It is very rich in content, containing lineage, family instructions and rules, biographies of important people, epitaphs, and other historical documents. So, genealogy is an important link for Chinese people to maintain their families and culture. Researchers also use genealogy as a supplementary source to carry traditional official history and local chronicles. Genealogy is one of the special cultural heritage collections of Shanghai Library. The Shanghai Library collects genealogies through literature rescue, purchase, donation, auction, and other channels, and currently has more than 13,000 titles and 300,000 items in total, accounting for about one-half of the world's exciting Chinese genealogy documents. When serving users, it is a joint catalog service for genealogy, not only the collections of the Shanghai Library. The technique and method. Users always search their genealogies by their family names or by the migration of their ancestors. Digital humanity methods and technologies are applied to extract the key information from genealogies, such as family names, locations, famous people, ancestors, migration times, and migration locations, and other data. We use linked data technology to display and interconnect them, so to facilitate users' information source. Initially, the main content of our platform comes from these books, the General Catalog of Chinese Genealogy, which was published in 2008. It was compiled from a major national culture project. The project aimed at promoting the common sharing of global Chinese literature. It took 8 years to complete the communication and publication. Then it was the first synoptic catalog, a joint catalog involving the connections of about 600 genealogy collection institutions, with a total of more than 50,000 titles. The Shanghai Library has 300 to 400 new genealogy collections and catalog them every year. And we also cooperate with other genealogy collection institutions. In 2020, we launched the joint genealogy cataloging system. It opened up to organizations that need for the genealogy cataloging. Shanghai Library is the center. The genealogy cataloging system and the service platform share the same database, and the data are connected. The catalog data is directly into the service, so the data of platform is dynamically increased. Next, please ask my colleague He Chenzhi to introduce the service platform.
Thank you, Qianqian. And next, we will introduce the platform built based on the above resources and methods, as well as some visual display projects. First, the platform. We launched the first phase of Genealogy Knowledge Service platform in 2016. After a period of use, we enriched the resources and functions according to user feedback and launched the second phase in 2018. You can scan the QR code here to browse our website. As my colleague has said, our platform includes not only Shanghai Library's genealogy, but also the data from the general catalog of Chinese genealogy. And with the augment of the genealogy collection amount, the platform service data is also increasing. For now, the platform displays more than 80,000 genealogy documents from 630 institutions. We extract and normalize entity data, such like surname, ancestor, place, dynasties, and use these entities to link the source. Here you can see what relevant data and the information about the genealogy is displayed on the platform. First, metadata shows basic information such as title, author, summary, and so on. And for our library's collection, we scan the genealogical document and show it online. We extract and normalize celebrity names mentioned in the genealogy and relate the name to our Shanghai Library's name authority database, which can provide more information. And for several genealogical documents, we recognize and structure the text and convert the document into family lineage. We also sort out the family rows in the genealogy as well. Therefore, when facing such a large quantity of genealogy with rich content, how can users find what they want? To enable users to find the document quickly and easily, we provide several methods and facets to review the resources. For retrieval, in addition to regular simple research and advanced search, when users doesn't have a clear goal, they can also search for resources by drawing circle on the map. And we provide a two-way of navigation by surname or by spatial temporal map, and benefit to link the data. When you are browsing ancestors or family rules page, you can also see the related genealogy as well. Our platform also applies visualization technology. The use of data visualization is not only to enrich the visual effect of data, but also to display data in a structured way and reveal more information, so that users can make their further exploration. In our platform, we use spatial temporal map to reveal the distribution of genealogy in different dynasties. Use family lineage to show the relationship between the family members, and use statistic graph to display search results. In addition, we also encourage users to participate in knowledge innovation. The platform provides 3 functions: uploading genealogies, online recognition, and online editing. It enables users to identify individuals and their basic information in the open family lineage and visualize the result. We also support users to donate genealogy by uploading the digital version. And if users want to new and online digital genealogy, they can also use our platform to edit one. It is hoped that the resources of our platform can be corrected, improved, and enriched with the help of the public by using these crowdsourcing functions. Well, in this part, visualization, we will show some visual projects displayed in our new library. We hope to weaken the obstacles brought by reading genealogy documents and display the knowledge contained in the genealogy in a more vivid and direct way. The first project is the immigration map. Here you can see the video. The video is presented on the 10-meter screen in our new library. It dynamically displays family migration trajectories on a spatial temporal map. On the right side, you can also see the statistic data and charts of migration events, such as number of family names, ancestors, and places in various time periods. At the same time, the control terminal here can also set the visual effects, such as the flying lines. In this project, we extract the migration events of famous celebrities recorded and obtain more than 10,000 migration events through 3,000 years. After data visualization design, we help users to better understand the rich information contained in the genealogy and arouse interest in the genealogy. The next is surname wall. We also set a surname wall in our genealogy theme pavilion. Users can use applet to scan the Chinese character on the wall to interact. Well, actually, you can scan any Chinese character by hand. If it's a common family surname, it will be work. So once you scan the name, the applet will push the knowledge related to the family, such as description of genealogy, ancestors, and migration events. Here you can scan the QR code by WeChat to get the applet. Well, the last one is the family tree. The family tree project is a cooperative project between us and the team of Ms. Shang Fan from Tsinghua University. We extract information of family members into structured data and made a growing family tree. You can interact with the big screen by zooming or choosing on the pad. Once a name is chosen, the family tree will map to that people. And the family tree intuitively demonstrates the shape of the family and the growth of the family. So, as you can see, in recent years, Shanghai Library has been committed to feeding the knowledge of genealogy resources and providing service for the public. Here, we have made various attempts and there are still areas to be improved. We hope you can share your ideas and suggestions with us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Very interesting presentation and so much details. Thank you so much. Now, I will introduce to the next speakers. Next speaker, Jingzhu Wei.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Right. Yeah. Shall we? Okay. I'll introduce Yat-sen, your background. Jingzhu Wei is currently a professor of the School of Information Management in Yat-sen Universities. She teaches courses in the public culture, public library, digital culture, and intellectual property. Her current research focuses on digitalization of the culture, intellectual property issues in the field of information management. She is the chief expert of the major project from the China National Social Science Foundation, and she has worked on more than 20 other research projects. She is now the standing committee member of the IFLA Local History and Genealogy section. So, please start your presentation.
Thank you, Professor Takashi, and hello from Guangzhou. My topic will be a little broader about local historical culture. My topic is new service practice of local historical culture resources on public culture cloud platforms. I will have three parts. First of all is the introduction to the public culture cloud platforms. The second part will focus on local historical culture resources and services on these platforms. And the third part will be research focus and future prospects. So in the first part, we will first see the development of these platforms. In this Qianqian, the platform started from 2012, and the national one started at 2017. And the national one now is acted as the leading center. We can see from the red graph that many provincial and city level platforms are connected with the national one. And until now, more than 200 local platforms in use.
What are the main force of construction? We can see local bureaus of culture and tourism, cultural heritage institutions, such as libraries, museums, archives, cultural centers. They are the main force of construction. And these platforms are built under Chinese cultural digitization strategy and policies. I listed 3 of them, especially the last one was issued last year, the National Culture Digitization Strategy. These policies emphasize the National Cultural Big Data System and the Smart Library System, Public Culture Cloud Platform System. So this kind of platform is a platform that integrates cultural resources through technologies such as cloud computing, big data, artificial intelligence, etc. And these platforms can provide services through applications, WeChat, website. And the primary goal of these platforms are to narrow the last mile of public cultural services to meet the basic cultural needs of the public. So they have a characteristic of integration and digitization, information and technology and activities, and online and offline integration. And the institutions, they collaborate and share resources. This slide shows services on these platforms. We can see from the image that we have cultural news, broadcast, reading, resources display, cultural training, activity ticket booking, venue reservation, exhibition, and cultural product, user feedback, etc. At the second part, we will see the local history and cultural resources on these platforms. We will use many cases in this part. First of all, the databases. This is the case from a city named Bengbu from Shandong province. At this city, the platform has many databases of local history and culture. These resources from the local libraries, museums, cultural centers, as we said above. And we can also see that we have many local special columns for audio and video display and latest event broadcast. As we can see from the left one, this is from Heilongjiang platform. We can see their audios and videos about popsicle, about the local snack, about the local barbecue, and natural set. On these platforms, we have many LHG activities, such as lectures, teamed activities, reservation, ticket reservation for museums. The right image is from Foshan city, and we can see the land dancing training, the cultural training. There are many training sessions on this platform, and users can reserve tickets of this training, and they can participate in this training free of charge. Because there are so many activities on the platform, so many of the platforms, they design recommendation approaches for users to search for their for what they are interested. They commonly have the following recommendation approaches: type-based, region-based, and time-based, requirement-based, and popularity-based recommendation approach, and latest activity recommendation. That means you have many ways to search the interested one you are in. So we can see from the image, for example, the region, because this is the local platform. So there are many districts in your city. You can search the nearest district of you to go there. And the popularity-based recommendation approach. Online trainings are always welcome by the public. For example, this is the Tianfu cultural platform. They have eggshell carving, sugar painting, paper cutting, shadow puppet. These are local history and cultural resources. So the public can enjoy these trainings also free of charge. And also online and offline exhibitions. And for tourism resources. Along with these resources, there always have a travel map of a local city that you can travel these sets to get access to the tourism resources or tourism sets. And the last one is very interesting, that's cultural crowdfunding. That means on these cultural platforms, an entity or an individual can be an organizer, come up with an activity plan, and they release this information on this platform and set the participation and success criteria. If the criteria is met and the people will have the invitations from the organizer, they can participate in this activity. Of course, at these circumstances, the participants will pay some money for this activity. So there are many activities on these platforms now. For example, Chinese calligraphy, opera, Chinese painting, ceramic art, etc. And we'll summarize this part. So on these platforms, we have local history and cultural resource collection, activity, training, exhibitions, tourism resources, and crowdfunding activities. So we draw a figure in the right side. The GLAM, the cultural institutions, they provide their resources, they share their resources, their activity informations to the platform, and from the user end, they can enjoy the resources and activities and the information on these platforms. So third part is some research focus and future prospects. We propose key elements for research or for these platforms. We can see that there are 4 key elements: facilities, data, technology, and management. For research, we can do research if on one individual element or 2 elements, the cross research, or 3. For example, the platform, they have changed the management style and changed the cooperation approach of facilities. And they will have high requirement of governance of cultural traditional governance approach, and the data can be also used to analyze many potential outcome, for example, users' preference. And the technologies can be combined with data, with management, and with facilities. So it will lead many research topics. We also proposed an integration framework of, we call it Smart Culture Service. And this was published on the conference 2020. We proposed a model, the framework, or cloud, venue, and space. And we have 3 modules: resource access, service integration, and space customization. And on the upper side is this platform. Users can get access to many services and resources. And for the physical venues, users can enjoy the physical activities. And for individual users, they have the smart individual space. In whenever and wherever they are, they can enjoy the smart resources service and other consultation services. So for the data on these platforms, we can utilize them to man users' preference. We data research on it, and we use the web crawler in data collection and natural language processing in analysis. And our goal is to optimize the platform and contents of public cultural activities on these platforms. And we found a very interesting research result. For example, although significantly high attention has been paid to activity information and the cultural platform functions, but the users' satisfaction on them are not so high. So I think that's all I want to communicate with you. I'm looking forward for comments and questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jingzhu Wei. The very interesting and very important presentation. It's related to the local history in the futures. Shall we start next speakers? I will introduce to and also if you have any questions, please write in the Q&A columns. The speakers will be answer back to you. Next one is ANG Seow Leng, from the Singapore, the National Libraries. She is a senior librarian. ANG Seow Leng has been with the National Library of Singapore for almost 30 years. Her main responsibilities include developing collections, content, research, and writing for the library's electronic resource Infopedia and Biblioasia, as well as providing reference and research services related to Singapore and Southeast Asia. Would you please start your presentation?
Okay, thank you for your introduction, Professor Takashi. Good morning, hello all, and greetings from Singapore. Today, I will share the Singapore National Library and National Archives of Singapore resources that have been used by our patrons who conduct genealogy research. I will first share some background information on the population of Singapore, highlight a multi-ethnic society and therefore the challenges one might face when conducting genealogy research. And I will conclude with some recent related developments. Sitting at the center of a web of trade routes, Singapore was an important shipping route used by traders and travelers plying between the Indian Ocean and the South China Sea. When the British established a trading post on the island in 1819, many people flocked to the new settlement in search of better lives and economic opportunities. The first census in Singapore, which was taken in 1824, recorded 10,683 residents comprising Europeans, Armenians, Arabs, Malays, Chinese, Indians, and Bugis. This was a tenfold increase from an estimated 1,000 inhabitants in 1819. Despite the limitations and inaccuracies of early censuses, they are one of the main records that chart the growth and pattern of change in Singapore's multi-ethnic population in the 19th century, with successive waves of migration. The current population of Singapore is close to 6 million people. Here are some images of the early residents in Singapore. The Malays and their ancestors largely arrived from Peninsular Malaya and also from various parts of the Indonesian archipelago, such as Sumatra, the Rail Islands south of Singapore, Java, and Sulawesi. Those who originated from Indonesia were from distinct ethnic groups like the Acehnese, Minangkabau, Bugis people, Javanese, or Sudanese. They are all considered as Malays. The Indians comprised of people from former British India, the present states of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and also from Sri Lanka and Burma. Singapore's Indian race included Tamils, Malayalis, Sikhs, Gujaratis, and Punjabis. Majority of them who migrated to Malaya during the British colonial period were Tamil-speaking South Indians. The Chinese have been in the majority since 1830, and they included people from China, Taiwan, and Hong Kong, as well as Chinese from the Southeast Asia countries. Mainly consisting of immigrants from southern China, Fujian, and Guangdong, they include the Hokkiens, Teochews, Cantonese, and Hakkas. There are also the Hainanese from Hainan Island and a small number of people from coastal Fujian area who are the Futing and Xinhua people. Another minority group of Chinese from northern and central China, known as Sanjiangren, arrived from Jiangxi, Jiangsu, and Zhejiang. We also have the Eurasians and the Peranakans. In Singapore today, the term Peranakan generally refers to a person of mixed Chinese and Malay or Indonesian heritage. Many Singapore Peranakans trace their origins to 15th century Malacca, where their ancestors were thought to be Chinese traders who married local women. Another notable Peranakan group of non-Chinese descent are the Straits-born Muslims of mixed Indian, especially Tamil, and Malay parentage. The Eurasian community is a small but influential ethnic group that has been present in Singapore since the early 19th century. Eurasians have mixed European and Asian origin. Most Eurasians in Singapore can trace the European part of their ancestry to the Portuguese, Dutch, or British, while others are of Danish, French, German, Italian, or Spanish descent. The Asian component of their ancestry is usually derived from the Chinese, Malays, or Indians. And so, where do we begin? Over the years, we have received queries from patrons who are interested in knowing more about their family history and documenting it. Very often, it is a race against time as their elderly family members or relatives pass on, with sometimes scattered knowledge of their family stories. Occasionally, there'll be waves of school children who are assigned a project to record their family tree, though I'm sure that they are probably more familiar with the Pokemon family tree. We have also seen many books published over the years to capture a particular family history in this region. There are more English titles on the Eurasian, Peranakan, and Chinese families compared to the number of titles written in Chinese and Malay. However, family history records could also be kept within the family and their family tree not published due to privacy issues, inadequate information, and time limitations to constantly update their family trees. Some also made their family histories available on the internet as blogs. The Malay book on family history, Radzi Sapi, traced the journey of 5 family generations against the backdrop history of Muar, Johor, and Singapore. From what I understand, most Malays do not maintain a written genealogical book with the exception of royalty and the Muslim scholarly class. Having said that, the Arabs in Southeast Asia, especially the Al-Alawiyin Arabs from Hadramaut, Yemen, faithfully maintain their family trees that trace their ancestry to Prophet Muhammad and from there Prophet Adam. I would also like to bring your attention to the Shepherdson family made headlines when they shared their genealogy in Journey to the Straits, covering 3 centuries from their earliest known ancestor who traveled beyond the British shores to Southeast Asia. They demonstrate the various approaches of tracing one's family history, proven techniques and experiences, and how memories and written records shaped the lives of people. This is most likely the first time a Eurasian family has written a detailed account of its family tree through more than 10 generations and has had links to more than 100 different surnames across 10 different nationalities. It took them 13 years of research and an entire year of writing. According to Professor Wang, a historian and sinologist and writer who wrote the foreword for the book Chu Bun Lei, A Family Traces Its History, a Family Album, the Chinese family history publication illustrates changes that have taken place among Chinese communities outside China. Quote, "This is a family album. Just a minute. I quote, "This is a family album, something that has moved away from traditional Chinese genealogy, but has retained some of the spirit of the latter. A Chinese genealogical collection was primarily a patriarchal record that served a didactic purpose. It has a quasi-religious goal and was produced to encourage solidarity, the kind that aimed at keeping the male members of the lineage together. Family album, however, is a modern way of remembering. It is more inclusive and, while open to nostalgia and sentimentality, conveys a modest but warm sense of what is memorable for a wider membership. This reflects non-Chinese influences, both coming from the West and from indigenous Southeast Asia, where societies give equal emphasis to both males and females as long as they are related. The social historians could chart more fully the changes that occurred among immigrant Chinese families as a woman's place in the family is documented. It enriched one's understanding of the least recorded aspects of overseas Chinese transformation, of commitment and settlement." These are some of the official records and resources that have often been used for genealogy research. Unfortunately, we are unable to undertake extensive research on the patron's behalf. Government directories, business directories, maps, and street directories are useful in the listing of names and places for verification purposes. However, there might be slight differences among the ethnic groups in terms of resources available for their reference. In comparison, the Chinese will have more resources to dig into, for instance, the local chronicles from China, genealogies and family registers, and also clan association publications that includes published jiapus, which offers a window to the family tree and its branches in Chinese families, and other information like the clan's migration history, and also the Chinese Business Guild's publications. Whereas for the Malays, they rely on the genealogies of Malay Sultanate of the region, where they are an important source for those who wish to link or relate their family histories to the Malay kings of the regions. To add to the complexity of research, vernacular names are often mispronounced and their spellings confused, or sometimes different Chinese characters with the same pronunciations are used. Here are images of some of the sources. When it comes to digitized resources, Newspaper SG is an online archive of Singapore newspapers. You can search our digital archive of close to 80 newspaper titles published since 1827 in English, Chinese, Malay, and Tamil. Many of our patrons have been thrilled to find mention of their ancestors' name in the news. SG is an online collection of digitized books and printed materials, including rare and historical imprints related to Singapore and Southeast Asia from the National Library and its partner institutions. You can explore over 10,000 titles that will offer you a glimpse into the past. Archives Online is also another great resource to explore. Many selected digitized records such as photographs, posters, speeches, cartographic records, oral history interviews, and audiovisual recordings can be accessed from home. With an increase in queries related to research on family tree and genealogy research, the National Library published this title to help those who are working on their family histories in 2008. You can find a digitized copy of this title in Book SG. The book, we showed a sample of a family tree, a list of items to cover in the interview form, and what kind of probing questions that can be asked to tease out more information from a family member. checklist of personal genealogical sources and research logs, and the various kinds of possible records to pour through. 5 years later, this booklet was produced as a companion to an exhibition on family histories held between 2013 and 2014. This exhibition explores the quest of 4 Singapore families to explore their histories. Going through documents at home, in the library, and various archives, they drew up their families' genealogies. The exhibition also features about 250 documents and objects on loan from 19 families. Artifacts include a pre-war marriage certificate, genealogy charts and family heirlooms, photographs, recipes, and personal objects passed down through the generations. They indirectly reflect Singapore's social, economic, and cultural history. Multiple resources are available worldwide in researching family roots, including DNA testing. They were also being showcased in the exhibition. Interestingly, in February 2018, a genome project was carried out by the Genome Institute of Singapore to conduct a study of DNA sequences to infer some aspects of the ancestors of certain population in Singapore. 177 Singapore Peranakan Chinese were involved in the study. Their findings gave scientific evidence that is consistent with the hypothesis that around 190 years ago, early Chinese traders married local Malay women, as there were a smaller number of Chinese women among the early immigrants. These findings help advance historians' understanding of the Chinese diaspora in Southeast Asia. There is also a potential for researchers to map out their relationships within the family and networks between families with advancements in digital technologies. Launched in 2019, the Singapore Biographical Database is a collaborative project by the National University of Singapore, the National Library Board of Singapore, and the Singapore Federation of Chinese Clan Associations. This digital humanities project uses visualization tools to illustrate personal connections, affiliations, and networks over 8 generations of prominent Chinese Singaporeans from 1819 to 1990. For this pilot project, 200 personalities were featured, and there are 4 main publications referred to for information on the personalities. Among these featured, there are about 20 personalities with the largest spread of networks. Here, the social network is mapped out. Users can mouse over the dot and that represent a personality. Biodata on that person will pop up. You can also do a search on names, relationships, and by hometown. It is currently restricted to interpersonal relationships only. About 1,300 relationships between the personalities and mention of people in their network from the publications consulted are mapped out. Here you can see some of the relationships highlighted, like father and son, father and daughter, brothers, grandfather and grandchild, cousins, and business associates. While we could use technology to help map out relationships, the links are only as strong as what the resources have to offer. For researchers who are interested in such studies, there are still a lot to be done. As this is our first prototype, we are keen to develop the project further, depending on manpower, expertise, budget, and time. The Genealogy Society of Singapore was established in 2012 as a forum for anyone interested in genealogy and ancestral studies to gather and exchange knowledge. The society collaborates with government bodies, institutions, civic societies, and individuals from Singapore and beyond. Regular activities are conducted to create awareness in genealogy. And in January this year, the society signed a memorandum of understanding with a China-based ancestry research company called My China Roots to work together over 3 years to help Chinese Singaporeans trace their roots. The services include roots and genealogy research projects focusing on pre-migration family histories in China, trips to China to trace family roots, and producing publications. This service with a fee might be helpful to many who may no longer understand the Chinese language or unable to speak the dialect of their ancestral home. I'm happy that the resources at the National Library of Singapore and National Archives of Singapore have been useful to families seeking their roots, and we have been privileged to listen to their family stories. I end my presentation with this quote I found in one of the family history books. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, very interesting presentation. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Last presentation from me. Thank you for joining today's webinars. My talk is the last one. I will introduce to the very briefly outline of the genealogy in Japan. This is the outline to my speech. Very briefly introduce myself. I'm a professor emeritus of the Tsurumu University, focusing to new approaches for data note-taking, data cultural heritage, research data management, and transforming libraries. Many fields I have done. And now to the very long years, I have joined to the IFLA activities, the Standing Committee members of Information Technology, and after that, Asian Oceania regional divisions. And now to the Secretary of the Local History and Genealogy in IFLA from 2021 until now. And this one is a global memory net, is Tsurumu University's library data collection has been built in 2005, many years ago. It's a collaborative work with Professor Qianqian of the Simmons College in the United States. At first, I would talk with you in Japan, we should consider three levels of the data contents. One is organization. Nowadays, many individual organizations are building up to the data collections. We are not so easy to access to the data collection and finding the data collections. Recently, the aggregator is each of the subjects of the field, the cultural heritage online, and other core base is museums, aggregators developing. Very recently, the national portal I will introduce today the Japan search for concerning for the genealogical information. And in the future, very important for the open data, many speakers mentioned to some this new field, the research data and the statistical data, and also big data is very important in the future. In Japan, there are little difficulties there to the English word with the genealogy is translated so many words in Japanese. One of the examples is kake is a family linkage, and chisuji, bloodlines, and keito, the plant and animals and languages, keito. The keizu, the genealogy is well, academically, we are so the Keifugak genealogy. The Keifugak genealogy has been treated as part of the historical studies, such as genealogy of the aristocrats and the samurai and the knight in ancient times. The first NDL, National Data Library Data Collection, the largest one in Japan. I will try to keizu the genealogy to the word search. In the case of the data content, NDL is three categories. One is available without login. It can be accessed to worldwide. Next one is need to registration, can be retrieved and see to the contents, data contents. And another one is available only at the NDL. You should go to the NDL building and see the data contents. It's only to depend on the copyright law in Japan. This is the I have tried to retrieve to the case genealogy. The 195,000 so many data content can be retrieved because this is one of the new feature of the full text search of data contents in Japan, National Data Libraries. Limiting the search to the title field yielded 1,000. The first record I will mention to be genealogy of the Prince Shotoku. He is a very famous person in Japanese histories and can be available to everybody. This contents. Showing to one examples, Prince Shotoku is displayed on the screens, such screens. It's turned out to be a scroll book divided into 9 screens in total. This is showing this one. The expanded one, this is the emperor, Yomei emperors, showing here to the Prince Shotoku. You can see that very old books. Next one is a national platform, Japan Search. Very recently starting to here. So many data content gathered in metadata from the many organizations here. This shows to the keyword Kamon. Kamon is a very important in Japan, the unique one, the family crest. I will show to, in the case of Japan Search, I have explained to the not only library, museum, art museum, and archives and universities data content, including here. Family crest is an emblem that has been passed down from generation to generation in Japanese family line and is a representative symbol of the families. The use of family crest dates back more than 1,000 years. There's a cross expanding here. Here. You can see the family crest, Kamon, families symbols. We can now to retrieve to very easy to not only the book, this kind of the cross and boxes and others. This is showing to the book, old book, family crest from the old book. There's so many kind of the family crest there on. This is expand to, you can see the very interesting family crest there on. The next one is a Museum of the Modern Japanese Literature. This is very important thing. All of the museum has not yet participating in Japan Search nowadays. You have to separately retrieve to find the information. This is a very famous person. You can search the various pictures of this site. With an example of the Soseki Natsume. Natsume Soseki is a famous novelist about 100 years ago. One of my favorite person. You can see the pictures. Yeah, he is a Natsume Soseki, very famous novelist. You can find all the picture this site. Next one is I will introduce to the not only the library and the museum and the museums and archives. This is nowadays commercial companies supplying the genealogical information site. Myoji Yurainet is a commercial genealogical information site where you can search for the derivation of the surname, family crest, and others. It is available free of charge. I tried to. This is my family name, the Nanatsuka. Nangatsuka is a kanji characters. The Nangatsuka, my family name is showing to the ranking 2000. The 700 persons in Japan. That means which means that it is not a very common surname, my name, family names. The next one is a little interesting. Today's many speakers from the China, word surname ranking. I will try to. Let's look up the most common surname in China using the word surname ranking. The China. Maybe the many audience from the China, you can already known to the top ranking of the surname in China. I'll show. The Wang is the ranking most common surname in China. The one was a speaker from China. Today's also Wang. Next one is a family crest in English. Flower. Search for family crest related to flowers. I will show. Bloom flowers. Bloom flowers in Japanese, kikyo flower. Kikyo, say, we are. This is expand of the flowers. This website is free for personal use. Feel free to share on social media. If you wish to use any of our material, please include a reference to CommonNet. Is a company site to the mentioned here too. Next one is the eStat. eStat is a national portal for statistical data. Is so many statistical data is you can find from the theme, the population and the householding. You can find so many population census in Japan to the very old ages. A little regulatory, the population census data from the past are included. However, unlike in the United States, the past individual census data are not publicly available in Japan. This is a final of my talk. The organizations and aggregators and national portal is now very convenient. You can retrieve Japanese genealogical information. And also in the future is a more important of the open data. And also I hope to mention to you that for the future development of genealogy, I think it is important to collaborate with the data content created by the libraries, museums, archives, etc., public sectors, and also private-based services such as Yali. We are now to very important how to cooperate with the public sector and the private sector in the future for the genealogical information in Japan. Thank you so much listening to my speech until the end. Cherry blossom, we are now very beautiful. Please come to Japan to after the corona disasters. Thank you so much listening to my talk. Thank you. Thank you so much. From now, not so much time to, much time to spend to the presentation. But question, we are going to the question and answers session. You have any questions? Please write in the Q&A. One of the questions has been write in the questions. Would you please from the Shanghai libraries speakers please answer to that question and supplement of the orally to the. I will introduce this one is the very important questions. How to confirm to the certainty of the information. The answer is from the Shanghai libraries. They are manually verified by the librarians and the information. Excuse me. Can an American obtain access to any of the JPL in the Shanghai libraries? Can this be done online? Or another question is there from the Shanghai libraries speakers. Please answer to orally. Okay.
We answer by oral, yes.
Yeah, please.
So for the second question.
Second question.
Okay. So our platform is accessible online. So if you're American, English, you can all obtain access to our platform, but you can see all metadata. But for the copy of the document, some of them is open to the public, and others is limited to browse in the library's intranet. So which means you can see the metadata, but the copy is not sure. It depends.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There from the audience, any other questions? Okay. Thank you so much. Today's webinars, many audience joining to this session. If you have any question after this, please contact our sections. We are now planning to this year's in the future. The next webinars will be. We are now planning to the United States and other countries. We will announce to in the future at the time to. Would you please join to us? And also, I'm informed to. We are now planning to this summer the IFLA conference in Rotterdam. We are now planning to the open session and call for speakers, and also satellite conference, satellite meeting held in the Belgium in the autumn. We will soon open to the call for paper. Please to join to our satellite meeting in the Belgium in autumn. Thank you again. Thank you again to joining today's session. Do you have
Thank
any?
you, Takashi. Thank you. Thank you all the listeners and participants. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, please. Soren, do you have any comment to the audience?
No, thank you very much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
And
thank
we
you
welcome, we welcome all the participants to attend our satellite meeting in Belgium.
Yes.
We will send out, we will publish the call for papers very soon. Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay. Thank you for speakers. Thank you, all
Thank you.
speakers.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.